This episode is brought to you by Cellular Performance Institute. Is your body beat up and broken down? Look into stem cells today. It could change your life. Go to cellularperformanceinstitute.com. Join Sam Tripoli and I for Tinfoil Hat Comedy Night, March 6th in Bakersfield, April 24th in Dallas, April 25th in Houston. Go to samtripoli.com for tickets. For all you jiu-jitsu players out there, catch me at 10th Planet San Antonio, March 22nd, and 10th Planet Rochester, New York, May 9th. See you there.
I can't believe it.
And you still got people out there with double masks and face shields and shit. Look into it.
You can tell it's real because it looks so fake.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Look Into It. Tonight, it's all mob stories with the guy who got convicted for life for selling weed for the mafia. Please welcome George Martorano. How you doing, George?
Hey, hi, everybody. It's George Martorano here in Philadelphia, Cold City right now. But not only did I get life, I got life, no parole, which means you die in jail.
And it was for weed, right?
Nothing, a conspiracy. I never got caught with a joint. I never got caught with any drug.
You never got caught with any drugs, so it wasn't for weed then.
It's all conspiracies. Most of them, what kept me in for 32 plus years was the weed marijuana count.
Really? So, the mob isn't known for weed or even like coke. Like, really, the mob is like racketeering and.
Well, back in my day, the mob was evolving in different ways. You know, I was born into it. My father was in it, my godfather, and just being different, I just started doing weed. I started moving weed as a teenager.
Yeah,
I thought there was nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, you don't hear that much. You don't hear it at all, really. When you look at Goodfellas and whatever mob movie, they never really talk about weed too much. It's always some kind of gambling, casino,
Back in my day, yeah, you were right. Very few was in Philly. Nobody was in weed but me. Nobody.
Now, like, you were born in Philly?
Yeah, born in Philly, yeah.
And then how, take me through your childhood and how being raised in a mob family, your dad was in the mob, like, you have brothers and sisters. Take me through your childhood and how it all evolved.
Well, I live from a very ethnic neighborhood. And the street that I was raised on, Fitzwater Street, it had a nickname. It was called Gunman's Row. And as my father was coming up, there was cafes along the street, 3 or 4 cafes, and this where all these hoods hung out. And when people got married young back then, and my mother, when she was 17, she already had 2 children, me and my older sister, and there was a particular gangster in one of these cafes. His name was Benny the Gimp. He was a bad gangster. For some reason, he liked children. He liked me, and he used to come and bang on my door and ask my mother for me. My mother used to shake, giving me to him, and he would take me up to a corner. There was an ice cream store, and he would buy me ice cream, and he liked to see it get all over me. I'm only 2 years old in a stroller. And my father used to get upset, and she said, I don't know what to do. I'm scared of him and this and that. One day he does that. I'm on the corner. My mother hears gunshots. and she runs out the door. Anyway, a car jumped the pavement. There was a driver, two shooters. They got out and they blew them away right in front of me. My mother ran out and scooped me up. So the cops, the homicide detectives, want to know who's the child attached to the stroller. They feel that there's some information there. So, make a long story short, I was 2 years old. I was on a lamb. They had me hid out at one grandmother's house, and then the heat intensified. Then they moved me 90 miles away to Wildwood, New Jersey. So 2 years old, I was on the lam. So what I'm trying to say, answer to your question, I was introduced to the mob at a very, very young age.
So basically, this guy was trying to molest you, and your dad had him killed.
No, nothing like that. Nothing like that. The guy just liked kids. It was nothing like that.
Okay.
My father wasn't even a gangster at the time. My father was 19 years old. He wasn't even a gangster at the time.
So who killed him?
Other gangsters. Where I heard he came into town, he was from another area, and he embedded himself in certain things, and it wasn't overnight. The guy was around a few years. What I heard when I got older, Benny the Gimp, and actually, that's how my father got. He was Raymond Long John Martorano. That was his AKA. And he was 19 years old, but he knew how to box. He was a boxer, and he tracked every one of those guys down and beat them bad. Put one in the hospital, beat them bad.
He tracked who down?
The guys that did the killing.
But the guy that got killed, was he a bad guy or a good guy? Because he scared your mom.
I don't know. I just heard he was a tough guy. He was a real tough guy. My father was a kid when this all went down.
So your father basically got revenge for him.
Yeah, well, he didn't know how. He wasn't a gangster then. He wasn't a killer. He was just he had a job. He was a boxer. He had a wife and kids, and he tracked them down. It wasn't far to track them down, just another neighborhood. But that's how he started getting known as Long John. And then he went work one of the gangsters, Little Harry. Ricker Benny, I don't know if you heard of him. He was a gangster's gangster. My father went to work for him, and things started changing for us as far as money-wise. So I was into life very young.
So your dad at 19 got pretty much recruited into the mob.
Yeah, after he tracked everybody down, gave him a beating. Because they were wrong. You can't ambush a guy in front of a child. I was like 2-3 feet away from him.
Damn. Most people don't remember things from when they were 2, unless it's like super traumatic and it was super life-changing things. Do you remember? Do you have like certain scenes in your head from it?
No, I was too young. Then when I got older, there was other situations on that block, Gumman's Row. I got to understand things more about 8 or 9, But then again, my father went away. He got 10 years when I was 6 years old.
What did he do?
He was with the mob. It was, I don't know if it was a murder or a drug thing. He got 10 years, and that was a lot of time back then. So he went away when I was 6, and they paroled him out when I was 10 or 11. And that's when I really got to know him.
Wow. So he went to work for the mob, and he killed somebody? Oh.
Well, listen, back in those days in these type of neighborhoods, one out of 200 went to college and, things like that. It was just the streets. You excelled in the streets. That was it. Either that or, you got a union job, something like that. But if you really wanted money, you had to get out there.
Now, when your dad went to jail, did your mom stay with them, or were they already?
Oh, yeah. She waited for him the whole time.
He came out. She was waiting. That's awesome.
And then he did that's 6 years, and then later on in life he went away for another 18 years, and she waited for him. Then there she was, old school type of woman. They're old school.
Damn, what did he go away for 18 years?
18 years was a murder.
And was it like something he had to do for the mob?
Well, they said he was a union official, but took him 2 years before they had the case thrown out because he really wasn't involved in that. Just a, guys that get involved and then they turn rat and then they throw your name in a hat. And the FBI tells you how to tell the story and you're hit. You're hit. That's why when I got out of jail 10 years ago, I didn't go back to the streets at all. Now I got probably the biggest cannabis brand in New Jersey. I'll tell you one story. I was 10 years old, and they wanted to make it official that Angelo Bruno, who was my godfather, was my godfather. So I came home from school, and, I'm at a parochial school, and I got the tie and a little blue jacket and this. And my father says, "Don't get changed. We're going to Angie's house." So we jump in the car and we go 10-minute ride. We're going to my godfather's house at 10th and Snyder, who's in the kitchen, a priest, and he's got all the vestments set up. He's got his vestments on. He has all the vestments set up, and he baptized me in the kitchen, with my godfather's kitchen. So that's how the mob worked back then. And I wasn't there long. Time I got there, time the ceremony, I was back home within the hour. And my mother says, "Why is your hair all wet?" Well, when you get baptized, they have to pour water over your head.
Yeah.
So that was the life. We were just in it. We didn't know any better. We were just in that was our life.
And then take me through the beginnings of your criminal activity, selling drugs.
Well, I was always with the weed. Weed back then, to get weed in Philadelphia was very, very difficult. Very difficult. You had to smuggle thousands of miles. There was no weed growing anywhere on the East Coast. So,
and do you remember the first time you smoked weed and how it happened?
Well, I was about 15, and getting out there, teenage girls and stuff like that. And everybody was drinking, beer or wine or alcohol. I did not like the taste of it. I did not like the taste of alcohol. But, I want to have fun too. And a buddy of mine, who I think he was about 17, he introduced me to weed. And I smoked it, and I've been with it the rest of my life.
So you had a lot of people like me, the first time I smoked weed, I had a horrible experience. I freaked out, got all paranoid and shit. But the first time you smoked weed,
no, it was good. I liked it, and talked to other guys and liked it. And then I went out and bought my first load of weed out in L.A.
How did you get to L.A.?
We drove, me and a buddy. I had a driver's permit, which is 15. He had 16 or 17. He had a license because you can't drive. And we shot to L.A. with an old Chevy. What the hell was that Chevy? What kind of Chevy that was?
Dude, you guys were 15 and 16?
Yeah, but we had money. I had money. We had to connect. We had to connect through some Spanish people. And we bought some weed in L.A. I bought it for $20 a pound.
Damn.
So Mexican Redbud, $20 a pound. I could fit about 300, almost 300 in the trunk, and drove right back with it, smoking right across. Drove right back with it, tripled my money.
How long was that trip? It took 2 or 3 days to get to L.A.
Oh, we don't know. We were kids, stoned, having a ball. I think going took us 2 weeks, but coming back, we went faster. But my lawyer, I ain't no dummy. Even when I was a kid, we had big lawyers around the family. Big lawyers would be at the house. Congressman, we had. I knew I had connects as a kid. And I grabbed this big lawyer. I says, "Listen, what happens if a guy 15 years old gets grabbed for marijuana? What would happen?" He said, "Nah, he'll be okay." Worst thing to say. Worst thing to tell me.
So that was your first So
Yeah, made money with weed, and you party a little bit. But like I said, either you had to make a trip like that. I didn't know how to do anything in the mail, anything back then. So weed was, you had it, then you didn't have it. So, but it's been a part of
like, how did?
Especially when I went to the can for 32 years, I didn't smoke. I could have smoked in jail. I didn't do that.
Wait, how did you take me through the bust when you got busted? And
when I got busted,
take me through all the details of you ending up in prison for life for weed. How did that all go? Take me through the top.
Well, listen, I knew the indictment was coming down.
How old were you?
Oh, at the time, 30.
Oh, damn. So you were doing
30, 29. No, about 29. I knew something was coming down.
So between when you were 15 and 29.
I got locked up at 30, turned 31. And so 31, I got locked up. I was 30 or 31. Anyway,
all through your 20s, you were making these trips to the West Coast.
No. My weed back then was sporadic. I would get involved with it for a year, then not mess with it for 2 years, because the money I would put it in other businesses. More long as I had my personal weed to smoke. It wasn't a complete life of weed until I got into the smuggling end.
Yeah, so you would do a little weed smuggling, and you would make money. And what kind of businesses were you?
Oh, vending business. I had hot dog diners, vending businesses.
Like vending machines?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So It wasn't all weed. Just weed was part of my life. So when I did it, I got away with it, because you do it once every year, 2 years, 3 years, and you get away with it. It's when you continuously do it. Yeah. So I was getting away with it. And then I got to a point where after my godfather was killed, 1980, I got into it continuously.
And what kind of music? Was there any kind of specific music that you would listen to while you were smoking?
Oh, geez, I liked it all. Motown, I liked it all. I seen all the greats. We had a place here in Philly called the Electric Factory, and it had all the greats. I seen all the greats: Moody Blues, Janis Joplin, Doors, you name it. I seen all the greats there. The reason why we had the cigarette machines in there. The mob had the cigarette machines in there. Okay. And we had it was a huge place. I would say about 80,000 square feet. And they had all the great bands, and we had the cigarette machines in there. So anytime I went, I know how to get in the back door and always take, a friend or two. And we seen all the greats. The only greats they didn't have were Rolling Stones and the Beatles. But anything other than that went through there.
Jimi Hendrix?
Everybody. Yeah. I seen him on stage playing with his teeth. Yeah.
So take me through the bust. What was what got you into jail? How did it go down? Give me the details.
Well, I got sold out. I knew the indictment was coming down. So I moved to Costa Rica. I had connections there. And
someone set you up, or was someone
my lawyer who died and went to jail, didn't rat. Well, he got infiltrated by another lawyer out of Miami, and the lawyer was always wired up with him, and he's always talking about me and Georgie okayed this and Georgie okayed that, and that really built up the indictment.
Why did they want you so bad? You were just
you got to remember, Philadelphia had several mob wars. A lot of guys was killed, no arrest. Yeah, my father was boss. I'm not a boss, a big guy in a mob. And I fell on a weed case, and that's when they all conspired. They says, we need a rat. We need a rat. All for years now, we've been getting embarrassed with that Philly mob. So they put a ton of pressure on me. And no amount of pressure was ever put on a federal prisoner what they did to me. They even asked them to give me the electric chair. Nonviolent first offender. conspiracy to marijuana. Okay, and I never had a traffic ticket. They wanted to give me they want to execute me.
Stem cells, they could do some wild shit down there.
You know, I got the stem cells in my shoulder. My shoulder was jacked. I went down there, worked, man.
Eric Anders' neck was up, and then he went down and got stem cell treatment. Now it doesn't bother him at all anymore.
I definitely recommend CPI. It's changed my life. The best stem cell clinic in the world.
I just come and I do stem cells to make sure that I'm resetting my body and staying healthy.
It regenerates tissue, reduces inflammation. The results are amazing.
CPI stem cells is where you want to go. There's no other place in town. They do the best work in the world. I feel incredible.
If there's anything causing you to not live the quality of life that you like, then this investment is more than worth it.
When it comes to the science of stem cells, no one comes close to CPI. There's not even a close second.
For a free doctor call to see if stem cells is the right option for you, visit us at cpistemcells.com.
It's because of, now at this point, was your father still alive?
He was fighting for his life. You know, he had a murder indictment a year before my indictment.
Oh, shit.
So he's fighting for his life. And they tricked me. It was a total conspiracy. The judge, my lawyer was no good. The prosecutor, all working together. They said, if you go to trial, it's going to hurt your father. Your father's facing the death penalty. Why don't you just plead out? We'll give you 10. Okay, you'll be home in 6-8. Okay? Your guidelines, your government guidelines are 48 to 52 months. I said, all right. I figured, let me help my father. I said, all right, we'll do it. It was all a trick. It was a total trick. When I went in there, I got life, no parole. I beat it. Ed. I beat it. It took me a couple of years and beat it. Got vacated, went back in front of the same maniac judge, gives me the life, no parole again. That's never been done before in the history of America.
And what was the specific reason that they were just going after you?
They hated us because of all these murders, no arrests, and the guy that my father might supposedly have killed, this union official. He was non-Italian union official, and the city was. The Irish were very powerful at the time, and they just was so much conspiracy and conspiring. They didn't have the balls. They didn't have the balls to walk up and shoot us, but they had the balls to get in the back room and play tricks and tricks and tricks. And that's what me and my father lived with.
So when you got arrested, take me you were in Costa Rica. How did they pull you out of Costa Rica?
Oh, that's why I have to do a TV series, because I cannot do my life in the movies. It has to be a TV series.
No, we got all day, dude. How you were in Costa?
I'm in Costa Rica. I got connects there.
So why did you go to Costa Rica? You found out that
because I have connects there. I have good connects there.
And you found out they were after.
Yeah, I went to my people and I says, listen, I'm going to be indicted. But it's going to be drugs. It's not going to be any violence. They said, no murders. I says, no, just drugs. I said, okay. So we made a deal. They were going to lock me up for murder in Costa Rica. Charge me with murder down there. They find a dead guy downtown in San Jose. They'll charge me with it. And I was to live in an apartment above the jail for a while. They said at least a year or two, then we'll let you out, and then you live here and you'll be okay. So we had that all arranged, and I even went a step further. I says, when I get out, I'll put up money for a home for 500 children. Okay, we'll house them, feed them, and clothe them. And I even met with Children's Hospital in Costa Rica, said, you do the medical for the orphanage, and the state will do the education. So I was in like Flint there. I was in like Flint. The feds couldn't touch me because I know they were coming. And then there was a big situation, a big void. When I left the country, it was a big void filled in Miami, big void. And you got to remember, Miami was very dangerous in the 70s and early 80s. You know, I was with
Scarface shit.
Yeah, I was with the friends with Griselda Blanco.
I was just gonna say her name.
I was friends with her. Yeah, but I didn't. you got to remember, Zelda and Pablo started with weed before they went into cocaine.
Okay.
They were with weed. I met Pablo in the late 70s.
How did you meet him?
I had a friend named Raymond the Boss from Barranquilla. He was my guy, Barranquilla.
From Ecuador?
No, it's Colombia.
Barranquilla.
Yeah, I like
Colombia,
Barranquilla
right.
because if you fly, when you fly into Colombia, that's the shortest stop off. Yeah. From Miami to Barranquilla is 90 minutes, so you're there. And
that's crazy. So you knew.
So I go there for weed. With Raymond the Boss, he said I didn't have any. I said, "Come on, man, you made me." He says, "No, I ain't got them, but I got a buddy in Medellin. I'm gonna put you in my plane. I already spoke to him. You go there and you see him." They put me on his Learjet. I go to see Pablo. That's when I meet Pablo. I says, "I need weed, this and that." And that's when Zelda was there. I met her, and he said, "We don't want to even do that no more. But since Raymond called for you, I'm going to give you a gift." And he gave me 5,000 pounds for free. So I don't even want to just get it. But I had it. Wasn't a Medellin. It was all the way back on the other side. Well, anyway, I took care of that. Anyway, that's how I met them. And then they were in the transition and going into cocaine. And that's when they were with that guy Lederer, Carlos Lederer. And I says, "Nah, I don't want to do powder." But me and Zelda stood friends for many years.
What was she like, Griselda Blanco?
She was about 4'8".
Everybody called her.
She was in her youth. She wasn't a beauty, but she had raw attraction, and we were in her very, very close. She had a terrible life as a child, terrible life, and she went on to be she was a gangster. She clipped a couple hundred guys easy, and she had an army of Marilitos, some Cubans, and she paid them cocaine, and they'll kill you. They'll go to Moscow and kill you, these nuts. They'll go to Moscow and kill you. So, and me and her got real close, and she went to Pablo. We didn't have cell phones back then. It was pagers.
Yeah.
And Pablo had houses set up in Kendall, Florida. He had a lot of houses where he put the drugs and the cash. And they had names of fruit, pineapple, coconut, papaya, whatever. You go to the house and you get a little call of a landline. It would be Pablo. I said, "What? I'm tired of hearing her." "Who?" Zelda. "She loved you. She wouldn't marry you." I says, "Yeah." I says, "I give you 1,000 kilo wedding gift. You marry, okay?" "Okay." I said, "Fucking no." "What you mean no?" I said, "She clipped all of her husbands and fiancés." The first time I come home with lipstick on my collar, "Oh, you got to be a good husband then." I said, "No, Pablo."
Hey, so you banged her?
No, I'm too smart.
You didn't bang her.
Good. She had arranged dinners for me and her. Too smart, bro. You gotta, I was raised by a father who taught me lines. There are lines in life. You don't cross them. You cross them line, it's on you. I would never stop. We were very close, though. Matter of fact, and they killed her in 2012. The government bullshitted her, lied to her. They killed her. I was very close with her son, Wuba. I was in jail in 2 different jails with him, Leavenworth and Coleman, Florida. Anyway, they lied. They told him, their lawyer said, "You can't send this family back to their country of origin, Colombia, because they're going to be killed. Give us time to have them placed in other countries." And the government says, "Yeah, go ahead. But they can't leave jail." So the lawyers were trying to procure them into other countries. In the middle of the night, the marshals came, put them on planes. One son went. He didn't last 2 weeks. They killed him. Uber, mother went, middle of the night, shipped him down there. He didn't last 2 weeks. They killed him. Same with her. They shipped her down there. She got a ranch outside of Medellin. And I think she had a spy there at the branch, my opinion. she went into town and somebody called, and she went into town and she got killed with same thing that she designed. She designed the dirt bike killings, the drive by with the dirt bikes. She designed that.
What?
And that's the way they killed her.
Like, what is that about? The dirt bike? Like, I see that in like third world.
They get two kids. They get two kids on a dirt bike.
Yeah.
One drives and one shoots. One's behind it. He does the shooting.
Perfect.
Yeah. They get two little skinny kids. Okay. She designed that. That's how they killed her. Yeah. But not in 2012, Ed. I'm in a jail, Coleman, Florida. A lawyer comes to see me, broken English, hands me a letter, and I opened the letter, and I sort of knew her handwriting because I used to get kites from her to her son. The son was in the jail with me, and she was right across the way in another jail, woman's jail. So I used to get kites. Guards used to smuggle me kites. So I sort of like knew her handwriting. There was two sentences. The letter says, I got Pablo's map. You're the only person I trust. All right, I got it. I ripped it up, gave it back to the lawyer. She got killed a few months later. Now, what she meant was Pablo Escobar had swimming pools built throughout the jungle in the Medellin area. Swimming pools with billions and billions and billions of dollars. Matter of fact, they had a show on TV about 4 months ago. They had equipment was going around in the jungle, and this thing was looking down at the jungle floor. They're trying to find these millions. And she said she had the map. And then she was killed. That's how close I was with her.
Damn, because that documentary, Cocaine Cowboys with Griselda.
Oh, that's Willie. That's Willie and Sal. Willie Falcone. He's out now. He's living in Costa Rica. Poor Sal Magudo, he's still in. Poor Sal, he ain't feeling good. He could have got out, but he got jammed up on another illegal. When you're in jail, man, you can't. Listen, I was a mentor educator in prison, all the worst prisons, for 32 plus years. I graduated over 8,000 inmate students. Never been done before in the history of the world. And my curriculum that Washington approved. Okay? So I had life, no parole. It was no way I'm going to get out. I'm going to be running a gang, and I'm going to be sticking guys and selling drugs, etc. You will never coming home. Now, you don't have to be no rat, okay? You don't have to do anything but just do the right thing. Do the right thing. And that's what I help an awful lot of people get their lives turned around. But if you go to jail, they got the key. They got the key. Simple as that. The key ain't going to turn.
Damn. So, okay, so you were involved with Escobar, Griselda, Blanco. They had to take you down.
No, I never was involved with them. I got a gift from them.
Yeah.
I got 5,000 pounds from Pablo. Okay. And
damn, that's crazy shit. Did you ever go to? Have you seen those Pablo Escobar documentaries where he actually built his own prison because he knew?
Yeah. You got to know him. Listen, let me tell you something. You got to know him to know him. I'm the only guy paid him counterfeit money and lived. I paid him counterfeit money.
But like, why would you do that? Didn't you think that
I was fucking with him? Fuck with him. I did. Oh, the second weed deal. I did one weed deal. Then another weed deal. Some people got a hold of me from Miami. They had his weed, but I had to pay him for that weed, and I owed him close to $1 million. And in that mill, at 3 different times, I stuck like 80, 90 counterfeit money. The fucking third time, I get a call. I got to go to one of the houses in Kendall. Georgie Opalaka tomorrow. Okay. they tell you the time. Opalaka means there's a Learjet going to Columbia tomorrow. So I get on the fucking Learjet. It's full of money. It's full of money. They got all the paperwork that they can transfer the money. They got a fucking dignitary sitting there. You know, everything's done right. No room for you. Oh, fucking, it was all full of fucking money, boxes of money. We go down there, we go to his ranch. Georgie shot with the funny money. I said, what funny money? The bank. I own the bank. I bring your money to the bank. The bank calls me up. They said the money no good. I got to put my money back into my bank. I said, all right, listen, I'll straighten it out. But really, he just wanted to hang out with me. He was a fucking Ed, crazy as it sounds. Who was a bigger gangster than him, right? He loved talking about the mob. That's all he wanted to do for me, talk about mob stories.
Like Italian mob stories.
Yeah, that's all he wanted to fucking talk about. And I knew them all. Anyway, so I said, Jesus Christ, this guy's worth billions. He's killing hundreds, and he's a mob buff.
Yeah.
So I knew I had him. You know. He could have killed me anytime. I'll never forget one. Yeah, I'm a runner. I'm 76. I still run. I took a jog around his ranch. Beautiful ranch. His horses were unbelievable. When I came in on the far end of the stable, and I looked at the wall, and the wall looked like all holes. I said, what the hell's them holes? And I got closer, and I realized it was all bullet holes. And I looked down at the fucking grass, and it was all purple. And I said, oh, man, they're lining guys up again. I didn't jog that way no more. I didn't run that way no more.
Do you remember where you were at when they captured Pablo Escobar?
I was in jail when he had the shootout down there. I knew it was over for him when he went into politics. The worst thing he could have did.
Why do you think he did that?
I don't know. Things went to his head. You know, I seen that happen. You get so much money. You really believe over immensely in yourself. I seen that happen more than once. Yeah. So
now like the Mexican cartels, like El Chapo, are they?
No, I never dealt with them. They were way after my time. You know, that word cartel wasn't around in my day. Even in Pablo, they never called Pablo a cartel in the early days.
Yeah.
It was just a drug gang, a narcotics. Yeah. There was no word cartel back then. So, I mean, and like I said, his downfall was going into politics. His downfall.
Yeah, he thought he would have the support of the people because he did pour a lot of money and resources into.
Oh yeah, but you got to understand. You got to understand the mindset is different, bro. You got to understand the mindset. Their mindset. They're good people, okay, but their mindset is different than others. I can't get into it. Gabish. I can't get in it. Their mindset is different, man. I down there. I was in the jungles. I know.
Yeah. So, Griselda Blanco, her power, correct me if I'm wrong, came from her sons, right? Her sons were like these vicious.
No, not true. Not true. She gave every order.
She get so much.
They were kids. They were kids. They got a little. Some territories on their own, but she called every shot. Believe me, she called every shot. She held them back.
For all your 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu merchandise, please visit 10thplanetjj.com/shop. We also got a Look Into It t-shirt that just dropped. Thank you very much for your support.
She called every shot. Believe me.
But what I mean, no. What I mean though about the power is not that they were calling shots and they had the power, but
when she was getting older,
they would protect her like they were the ultimate.
You got to understand. Yeah, they were getting older. She was getting older. She had her money. You know, she had her money. You know, and you had to know her to know. She knew that it wasn't going to last forever. she knew that. She knew it wasn't going to last forever. So, yeah, that's just part of my.
Where do mobsters? I don't know if you could say this, but like Griselda, Blanco, Pablo, even like American mobsters, when they know the heat's on, you want to hide your money. Like, can you say like where's the best place to hide money?
Well, Pablo hid it in swimming pools.
Like,
I don't know where she.
You build a swimming pool, and then under the swimming pool.
No, he filled the pool up with money, and then he made the jungle foliage over it. You couldn't tell it was a swimming pool.
Oh shit! Okay.
Oh no, it was a very sophisticated operation. Professional pools. These professional pools. You have professional guys do the landscaping. Forget about it. They were all his crew, all professionals.
So that he just fill the pools with money, with cash, and then just put like dirt over it and just bury it.
I don't know how it hasn't been found. I don't know how it hasn't been found yet. But there was that show not too.
Huh? There's a lot of money out there buried in pools.
Oh, they had a show. I'm telling you, some documentary. They had this machine, and it was going around the jungle looking at the floor, the jungle floor, looking for the money.
In the United States, though, how would you hide money? How would a mobster hide money if he knew he was going to go down for like 10 years?
There's nothing to do with illegal money. Illegal money you can't do anything with but loan shark it out, in my opinion. Can't do nothing with it. You know, there's always a trace. The only thing you can do with it, in my opinion, is loan shark it.
Like lend it out and then have to pay you back. And it's kind of like clear the money. They're going to pay you back in good money, right?
Yeah.
Untraceable money, right?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm not on the streets anymore. I have legitimate businesses, and I'm friendly with a lot of the old timers. They respect me and I respect them. But any young guy that wants to make his imprint in that life, to me, is but a fool, especially if you have family or children, because they're going to take you away from your wife and your children for a very long time, like they did to me. And I regret that. And
how did you get through 30 years of prison? Every day, were you like?
Well, you have to, I did 5 years in solitary, man. You know, with that, I'm talking to you with these sunglasses on because my eyes were in dim light for years. And, you're reading at night. You're trying to see these words, and I went through years of that. So my eyes, I have to wear glasses. Any kind of light bothers me. And, I did 5 years in a hole first. It was totally legal to do that, but they kept moving me around every 3 to 6 months, move me. No, the first they stuck me in Marion. Then I did my Marion time, which was 2 years. And then they still kept messing with me. And then I wind up getting some relief on my case. And I go back to East Coast, and I wind up in a cell with John Gotti for over 2 years.
No way.
Yeah, he was my cellie. John was my cellie for over 2 years. I love him immensely.
And he died, right?
Well, he died in jail. They killed him, man.
Who
killed him? He had cancer. He had some stuff going on with his throat. They let it fester, and he died from it.
What year was that?
John, geez, he died in jail about 92.
Oh, damn, that long ago? Whoa.
Yeah.
That was that long ago. Okay. Whoa. And you guys were cellmates.
Yeah, the first year we were 22-hour cellies, 22-hour lockup. You lock up with a guy 22 hours, you get to know him.
John fucking Gotti. You were
what? I love him, yeah.
What tell me about it. What do you want people to know about it?
There's films about me and him on YouTube about it. Yeah. I have a lot of films on YouTube. I have a film on 2 films on Amazon Prime. All you have to do is search in my name. And I go on Roku. I have a lot of films on. The matter of fact, I just hired a company, start putting that all together and put one direction. Anyway, John gets locked up in 80. 86. Gets locked up for the first indictment in 86. So he's all over the news in New York. And I'm on 9 South. That's the maximum security floor for all gangsters. You go on that floor, you're a gangster. And so the New York guy, my cellie was a famous IRA guy, Joe Doherty, they say in Ireland. Joe, famous IRA. They got a street named after him in New York. I love him. Matter of fact, someday I got to go to Ireland and see him. He finally got out. Anyway, he goes to the hole for arguing with a guard or a couple guards or something. So the New York guys come to me and he says, John will be up. Yeah, I see it. He'll be up on the floor. He's got to go through process. I said, yeah, I seen him on the news. I said, yeah, I figured him hit the floor about 8:39. He says, yeah, but your cellie went to the hole. We want him to go in with you. So I says, listen, I don't know the guy. You're in his crew. You guys are in his crew. Why don't I take one of you guys? I know you, and then one of you guys take John. I think it's more comfortable around. They says, no, we don't want to live with John. I said, what do you mean? You're his crew. You don't want to live with me? No, he's our boss, but we don't want to live with him. So I wind up about 8:30, 8:45. I said, what am I going to do? So I made some fruit. I made a nice little fruit salad. I had a cup of water ready. I had a stinger, make him a nice hot cup of coffee. And he comes in. I stood up. We shook hands. And I says, you got the top. You got the bottom bunk. I'll take the top. He says, no. I'm not taking your bottom bunk. John's a convict. He was a real convict. He did time before. I said, no. I says, I'm younger than you. You take the bottom bunk. And we had coffee and I had a stinger. I made him hot water and coffee, had the fruit, and that was it. We shook hands. We said anything we talk about in the cell stays in the cell.
Oh,
and that was it.
I want to hear some stories.
Yeah, we went over together over 2 years. Yeah.
Wow. Damn. So you thought at that point you thought you would never get out of prison, right? You thought you were.
No, I never gave up. I always fought.
Tell me about that. Tell me about the hope and what you did to get out.
Just kept peeling, man. Kept working. And I had such amazing accomplishments that were documented by the Bureau of Prisons, Federal Bureau of Prisons. All this documentation, it grew to be piles, and I put together this complete, in-depth dossier. What didn't overwhelm you, but just got to the heart of it. And this dossier went around and even got to Obama, and that's when Obama actually started going around the country saying you can't take a life away from a first offender. So Obama was always in my corner. He read my book when he was a senator. The only thing you can do if you're a fighter is you keep fighting to your last breath. And that's what I was going to do.
And tell me about your book. You wrote a book in prison?
I wrote 31 works. As you're a writer, we call it works, plural. So I wrote 31 works. Right now, as we're speaking now, I'm going to negotiation with an imprint out of Kentucky. They want to do what I want to do. Everyone wants me to write my life story. The only way I would do that would be a TV series, okay? Because my life's not over. It's still evolving. I'm still doing things that are astonishing. So why should, my life be over by writing a book? So the imprint suggests that they get a lot of other my works out first and then come back to me. So that's good.
Damn. Okay. So tell me how you first started to realize like there was some hope that you were actually going to get out. And then
I don't know, bro. I don't know, Ed. I don't know where that came from. The strength, I really don't know. I think it's from my bloodline, whatever. It just never entered my head to rat. Never entered my head to rat. And it never entered my head to give up.
And so tell me about how you found out that you were getting out. Like, what was that about?
Oh, wow. That was something else.
Like, what was the first news that you thought like?
No, it was a Friday. It was October 12th.
What year?
Wait a minute. Let me try. 2015. It was October 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. I got out October 5th. It was October 2nd, and I had just got done a class, one of my classes, and a lot of times I like to shoot to the yard. I might have cops, even in the yard would be closed. They would let me in the yard. I get like a half-hour walk, you know.
What I think is probably the best knee slice in the game. It's called a row drag. Super simple, awesome combo. Before we get to the truck, throw a little pass on top of that. You know what I mean? So we're gonna get really good at that truck transition. How about you get really ninja with the row drag? The knee slice. Push him down, butterfly, boom, bam, boom. Here. 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 And then the fishnet, knee to the stomach, low handle, break the frames, and then boom. Pull this out, grab my forearm, pop, pop. That's all the best shit from Twister Side Control right there in one throw. You guys want to go back and forth a little bit? Ready? Go. Before I hit back to the cell block, and I'm walking the yard, and I hear Martorano report to captain's office. I said, I got to go back. They open up the gate. I go across the compound. I said, what's up? They says, your lawyer's been calling. I said, well, I've been after chow. I didn't even go to chow. I says, I went to the class. I haven't been at the cell block. And I haven't called home. He said, well, call your lawyer. To push the phone across the desk. So I called my lawyer. I said, what's up? And like I said, this is about 7:30, 8 o'clock, something like that. And he says, are you sitting down? Are you sitting down? Oh, shit.
I says, no, there's nowhere to sit. What's up? I have your release here, paper in your hand. You're free. And he's screaming. And I said, all right, take it easy. Take it easy. I can't, it's Friday, so I'm not going to be processed till probably Monday. Am I correct? Yes, you're absolutely correct. I says, all right, well, are you going to be down? He says, yeah. I said, well, when I see you out to this gate, then I know it's happening. And I hung up the phone.
So you didn't have any, you didn't expect that call?
No, we've been working on it. I always had important appeal papers in, always had it. Yeah. Always had papers in for 32 years. This paperwork hit. So, and that was it. I got out October 5th.
What was that like when you walked out that prison? Do you remember you walking the fuck out going, what the fuck?
Yeah, some of that stuff's on YouTube. Yeah. I'm George Martorano, and I'm out in the free world after being in a cage for a very, very, very long time. I said 3 varies. That means each vary was a decade. So that's 3 decades, over 30 years. First progress report I ever received in solitary, my release date said released upon death.
Nicodemo Styrofoam comes into play in 1981 and really changes the face of organized crime in Philadelphia.
Everybody wanted to thump their chest and say, I'm the toughest guy on crime. End of story.
Nicodemo, Little Nicky Scarfo, headed back toward Philadelphia, where he's alleged boss of the mafia. And law enforcement officials are bracing for the next episode in a mob war that has left 18 men dead in the last 4 years.
So, you know, George's father was apparently allegedly involved with the mob. That spilled over into his case. That should never have spilled over into this case.
To go in front of Judge Hannum on an open plea with no agreement, you had to be out of your mind.
That was all coordinated in the back room between the prosecutor, my lawyer who sold me out, the judge, Washington. They devised this big plan that the only one that could bring down the Philly mob was me, and they had to break me. That's all filmed on YouTube. So I'm out after 32 plus years, and I did my acclamation to freedom in St. Pete, Florida, where I had a sister. And I did my acclamation of freedom down there for a few months, which was...
What is that? What is acclamation of freedom? What's that?
In other words, get used to being free.
Oh, they have to get you used to it. So
I had to get used to it. Yeah.
Okay, so you went to
So, well, wait a minute. The best part, I just want the people to know what I'm a believer in the cannabis industry. I'm no phony. So I get out. You got 24 hours. Got out on Monday. You got 24 hours to report to the day you get the time you hit your home, which we hit the home about 1 or 2 o'clock. You've got a call, and that's the time you have to be at the probation department in Tampa. So I have 24 hours to get to the probation. So we go, me and my lawyer, we go. I got a suit and tie. We go in. I say, no, I'm not going to see my case person. I'm going to see who's in charge. So it was a woman. So we walk in, and she tells my lawyer, sit down. He sits down. I tell me, Mr. Rush, sit down. I don't sit down. She looked up, Mr. Rush, and I said, let's hold on. Let's cut to the chase. If you're going to give me your analysis, take me back. That's all I said. Now, she knows I'm in jail for weed, okay? She knows it. She got all nervous. She left the room. She came back, sat down. She was going about 10. My lawyer says, till then, I don't know who you are. I said, just take it easy. And she said, okay, Mr. Martorano, know your analysis. Then I sat down. In other words, I had a fucking joint in my pocket. I ain't smoked in 32 fucking years. Okay, I got a joint, and I went to the metal detector with it, and I got, regular paper matches, so I know that they ain't going to go off. When I'm getting out of there, I ain't smoked in 32 years. That's how loyal I am to the cannabis industry. And a lot of my friends around America know that. I'm no phony. Either you believe in cannabis or you don't. So anyway, I go to the rigmarole. And we walk out of the federal building down in Tampa, and I want to hit. I found a little pie. I hit, bang, bang. It been about 2-3 hits. Man, Ed, I ain't smoking 30. I didn't know this was some good shit. I backed up, and I hit like where there's flowers, and I sat down. I says, all right, now we're going to have some fun. That's true story.
Wow, man. So and then you ended up like super leaning into the cannabis industry, and you did 30 years for weed, and now you come out and you build.
Yeah, my brand is the Grow Father. We're in close to 160 dispensaries in New Jersey. New Jersey has about 2 and change dispensaries. We're getting to a lot more, but our product is so good that when you have good product, there's no rushing in manufacturing. You have to go through the proper steps. I'm going.
Right?
Yeah, but I'm also starting a new brand in Austin, Texas, before the summer. It's going to be called Mob King Pen, and that's going to be my brand in.
It's going to be in Texas, like weed pens.
No, pen, Mob King Pen. PN, Mob King Pen, yeah.
Weed pen. That's the perfect name for a weed pen.
Right, Mob King Pen.
Oh,
right.
Perfect. Oh my God, that should be huge.
Yeah, I'll text you the logo.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm going to do it in any state that wants to do white labeling. The Grow Fathers, that's Jersey. That's Jersey. I'm going to leave the Grow Father alone in Jersey because it's doing too good. But I'm going to start other brands now. Because there's true story behind the brand. The Mob King Pen will have a bio on it about me. We'll have a bio on it.
Now, how soon after you got out of prison did you decide to go into the cannabis industry? Were you like, oh my God, it's all legal? Back in the day, it was so illegal.
Well, I started, Ed, I started getting booked all over the country as a speaker. The Hemp Fest Festival in Seattle, the biggest Hemp Fest festival in the world at that time. I was a main speaker at 2016, 17, and 18. Spoke on all the stages. It was over 9 stages. And then 2019, COVID hit and it destroyed Seattle. You remember Seattle was the worst city at that time. And that ended. But I was booked all around the country as a speaker for the cannabis industry.
That's amazing, man. So in Austin, mob, kingpin. What are you doing in LA? What's going on the West Coast?
I haven't done anything in LA. Uh, I only would. I have to find the right person or the right people to do it with. It's not about money to me. It's about the right people around me and the right understanding. I won't put my name behind anything inferior. It has to be a good product, especially with vapes. You know, you're dealing with people's lungs. So that's why I'm so proud of the Grow Father. Our manufacturers are right on point. You know, I will not hurt a person. Our gummies are on point, everything.
Yeah, I actually didn't want to get involved in attaching my name to any kind of cannabis product for years and years. I would get offers like, "Hey, you could do like an Eddie Bravo line or whatever."
Right.
I just denied it. I just didn't even want to get involved with it, you know. But then I did like 2 years ago. I put my name on a weed pen. It was I had my name on a weed pen for like it lasted about a year, but it just wasn't worth it financially for me. Like if I'm gonna put my name on some weed, it better be worth it financially.
Right.
It really wasn't like to have my name on weed. I'm like, what am I doing? You know, I'm not. It's got to be life changing money. Otherwise, you know, I don't need the trouble.
Right.
So your whole business is weed now. Like you're 100% weed.
No, I do shows. You know, I do shows all around the country. I don't know if you could see this here. Can you see that?
I can. Yes, I can see it. Say something in your mic so it goes back. Say something in your mic.
This is my. I just had a show 2 weeks ago, and it was a full house at the High Note Club. Now this show's at the very popular place here, Top Tomato, in Philadelphia on Valentine's night. That's the 14th. So, and then my next show would be Las Vegas. Then after that, Austin, Texas. So I like doing shows. Because, listen, you meet great people. That's how I came. That's how I met you. You know,
we met in Atlantic City like about a month ago for the premiere of or the debut of.
Well, I'm so happy that so much good came out of a bad night. My God, the weather was bad.
Yeah, the weather was bad, but it was awesome. I met you there, and
right.
Word War Debate, that Sam Tripoli show. They're going to do a second one coming up soon.
Well, I'm going to go down to Austin to see Anthony about doing something with Mob Kingpin.
Hell yeah! So Anthony Graffio, he's been on my podcast several times. How do you guys know each other?
Met him that night.
You met him that night? Oh.
I was with you. Don't you remember?
No, I thought like to me, I thought like he was like an old buddy of yours. And
No, we met that night. I just connect with people that way.
Okay. Hell yeah. So how can my people reach you? Like, what's the best way to reach you? And
just through you. That's all. Anything in LA that people are interested with me, as far as entertainment or cannabis, just get a hold of my friend Ed. Ed will get a hold of me, and then we can go from there. But there's a lot I got to offer, and also Ed.
When you say Ed, are you talking about me?
Yeah.
but I'm talking about like this show isn't just in Southern California, it's worldwide. So how can people get a hold of you? Like, what's your website, and what are you have social? Are you on social media at all?
You know, I do so much. The best way to get a hold of me is GeorgeMartorano.com.
Okay.
GeorgeMartorano.com. GrowFather, thegrowfather.com. That's another .com. And like I said, Ed, get a hold of Ed. I write it. Get a hold of Ed, and we'll take it from there.
Awesome, man.
The world ain't that big, ladies and gentlemen. It's a small place. I made myself, incidentally, I made myself known to the world from a prison cell by writing hard copy. So there's nothing that you cannot do. If you want to get out there, there's ways to get out there.
That's beautiful, man. Well, thank you for spending time telling your story. I appreciate you, and we'll hook up soon. And nothing but.
Well, I'll be in Vegas doing a show in March, Ed. I'd love to see you there.
I'll look into it, man. Thank you very much, dude.
All right. Thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, good night.
Have an awesome night, man. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, bro. Thank you.
The Jiu-Jitsu Dojo is the ultimate training ground for life. Jiu-Jitsu will accelerate the evolution of your being, your consciousness, your soul. Through this amazing art, you will prove to yourself that you can master anything you set your mind to.
Happy birthday, Eddie Bravo!
I leave for Brazil tomorrow.
Are you the Fear Factor guy?
I'm like 6 pounds over. Time to sweat it out.
Just imagine someone that has no idea how different your game is.
I'll tell you what this weekend was, man. It was a culmination point where all your hard work comes to like one great moment in time. You showed that you're a fucking champion, guy who goes against convention. You created your own shit and figured interesting ways to get around problems in jiu-jitsu. It shows you that great things are possible if you work hard, if you dedicate yourself, and you use your creativity, and you push through. Your own human potential just goes up.
My 10th Planet Association has grown rapidly to over 70 academies worldwide, and their curriculums are all synced to 10th Planet headquarters located in downtown Los Angeles. I'm Eddie Bravo. I hope to see you on the mats.